Yo, what's going on, everybody? Today, I want to react to something a little different, right? And I don't want to talk too much, but just to give y'all some context. So, I don't know if y'all seen the latest Tucker Carlson interview with Andrew Tate, but on social media, it seems to be getting a lot of talk. And what they saying is that Andrew Tate was basically just bold-faced lying in Tucker's face. And what this is right here is from a channel called Fearless on the Blaze TV. You know, apparently this dude, put together this montage on Twitter, and what it is I don't know, he was taking statements out of context. He was trying to make Tate look bad, take his tongue in cheek and take it for literal, when it's, you really don't know. This video is circulating around social media, and I seen it circulating around, and it doesn't make Tate look too good, bro, if we being honest. So, I don't really, fall for the shit. I know, he shouldn't have been arrested to begin with. They didn't have the evidence to begin with. They hold him in the justice system over in Romania. So today, I just want to watch this video, watch the dude explain it after, and then we just gonna kind of, I ain't gonna talk too much. That's all we gonna do. But appreciate you if you tuned in. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Let's get it.
Question. I'm charged with being the head of an organized criminal group, which is in charge of recruiting girls to make TikTok videos.
They face charges which include human trafficking, rape, and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women.
OnlyFans is the best hustle in the world.
Are they accusing you of using violence or?
No. They're accusing me of using the lover boy method, coercing them by being nice. I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit.
See, of course, what they gonna do is take these old statements before he was famous and known worldwide. He didn't have the audience for it, bro. I think that's some bullshit, bro.
It just doesn't work. It puts them all. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as normal. No mention of webcam. You f*** the girl. After you f*** the girl, you do the PhD test. So yeah, on CobraTape.com I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm.
Clever.
And that teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me. You're always working. Why don't you work for me so we spend more time together? Work for you doing what? So I have a webcam business. Oh, I don't want to do that. So okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen. Come, let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. But let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear from a girl. And this is where your bottom bitch has to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl. Because that's what I did. That was my MO, was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. This girl's like, okay, well, I'll try it. Put both girls on camera together the first day. So the new girl could sit there and just sit with the other girl and get drunk. Give him a bottle of vodka.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous.
And that's how I got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them. Because that's a completely different game as well. And over time, I just built up this big little empire of webcam girls. At one point, I had 4 locations, 75 girls working for me. I'd take around half of the money, around 50%.
You take 50%.
Around 50%. They thought they were on 50%. And I said that the disparity is because of taxes.
He would just pay me a flat fee of £15 an hour.
We got to the point where we had these guys falling in love with my models. Serious, big time in love, right? Sending crazy money. And they were convinced they were going to meet the chick. This is almost where I kind of felt bad. Because they're like, can we meet? I've sent you $200,000.
When you look at the money that I was actually bringing in, it just doesn't even scratch the surface.
I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, all of it to me. Give me it all. I was all about trying to get paid. Like I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
Were there any other instances where there was physical abuse?
I saw him smack girls with a belt.
Some ideas? You want some ideas? If I locked the door, you knew I was going to beat the out of you. If you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I? You don't. Get out. You can't stay in there forever.
Once again, this is an IQ test, right? Because any guy who's bad with women would look at it and go, Tate's a woman beater. I say it. Look at the camera. This is what happens, listen. Look at the camera. Why are you getting hit? Why are you getting beaten? Listen. you. Do as I say. Any man who's actually a G, who's been around a little bit, would look at the video and go, man, she wants that shit. The media machine, they call up ex-girlfriends and say, if you have anything bad to say about Andrew, we can pay you $50,000 for the story. And they tried very hard. They didn't find any evidence of anything.
And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, like, I saw him raping her. And,
People say, why do you in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say, to do what I want. I like being free. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. You stay in the house.
Because I'm not particularly, what would you say, impressed by what he's done on the sex business front. It seems to me a bit on the pimpy side, let's say.
I get called a pimp a lot, but and the reason I use the term is because I don't see it as a negative term. I see it as positively inspirational and motivating person.
She has to respect you and love you and want to work with you. And that's done through positively inspirational and motivating person. I'm gonna send you a book. It's a guy called Pimpin' Ken, who's a street pimp in the 90s, and he wrote a book, 50 Laws of the Game. And one of the laws of the game is a hoe without instruction is headed for destruction. They're accusing me of using the lover boy method, coercing them by being nice.
Let me read you then what you have said about what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
that's exactly what you said on your website.
No, I've never said that. So yeah, on CobraTake.com I have my PhD program.
I think the belief is that you were charged with human trafficking.
Yeah, that's human trafficking because what you do is you force a girl to work against her will for financial gain. That's human trafficking, and their justification for this is that girls do TikTok. Some girls I know who they found who say they're not victims have TikTok accounts. PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm
Clever.
Now I want to bring in, Nathan's been kind enough, despite the huge time difference, he's been kind enough to join us from Australia to explain his video and to provide us some information, because before Bryson and Royce and I talk about it, I want to make sure we have enough context to even understand the conversation and engage in the conversation. So Nathan, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking the time.
Okay. Man, so apparently this is the guy who made the video. This is the guy who that Twitter handle was in the left corner of that little video. I mean, how many people you think that's gonna flip, bro? And like, let's be honest, man, that don't make him look good. Like, that don't make him look good at all, bro. You know, it's just a shame, man. And especially since a lot of those videos are just old. Not saying that they couldn't have been actual statements. I don't know if he's guilty or not, but I know they arrested him without any evidence. And the women that they supposedly arrested came out and said he wasn't forcing them to do nothing. So what does that say? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know, bro. You know, at this point, I don't want to be a fence sitter, but I kind of got to at this point, right? And I think we all should, because when you got all that money, man, you really don't know what kind of shielding could be going on, like, from anything, you know what I'm saying? And as much as good stuff as Tate has brought, as Tate has inspired young men such as myself, you know, I got a lot of game from Tate, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, you know, we just got to absolve judgment, man, and we just got to sit back and just remain neutral, to be honest, bro. And that's where I'm at right now. So let's see what he got to say about it. He the one that made the video we just saw, so let's see what he said.
Video you put together and why you think what Andrew Tate said in his interview with Tucker Carlson is dishonest, out of context, misinformation.
Thanks for having me, Jason. It's Milk Bar TV, by the way. It's an Australian, Milk Bar's an Australian term for a local store. But, yeah, thank you for having me. I think me, like most people, I was kind of on the fence with Andrew Tate. There was some things that I heard him say about masculinity that I thought, okay, yeah, there's some wisdom to that. But I also knew enough about him that there was this background with him having this webcam business, and it always kind of irritated me every time he did a interview that no journalists or people actually questioned him on that background. And so when I saw him do the Tucker interview, he was asked specifically about the charges against him, and he downplayed them. I knew he downplayed them because I knew enough about the charges when he said he was just being charged with being around girls that were making TikTok videos or somehow convincing girls of making TikTok videos, and that was all the charges were. I knew he was lying. I knew that was a lie because you can actually access the charges. People have done the hard work to contact Bucharest courthouse and translate what the charges are and translate a lot of court documents. And I think he's really hoped that he can only present his side of the story because he's being tried in Romania. That's none of the actual truth of his court case will come out because you'll find it's far worse and far more damning than he's trying to portray. I mean, I can tell you right now, straight up, the charges are constituting an organized criminal group, human trafficking in a continuous form, continued rape charges, money laundering, even trafficking of minors. So he straight up lied to Tucker. Tucker asked him, is this to do with pimping? That's the organized crime element. Is this to do with anything financial? That's the money laundering component. Is there any violence to this? I mean, there's a charge of rape right there. So that's kind of what kicked off me making this video. And in the video, I really go into what the lover boy method is, which again, he said in the Tucker interview was him being nice. And with the video, it shows with his own words what that lover boy method is. And it's no different to really like a pimp, really. I mean, I can read out a direct quote from him. This is his PhD degree that he sold on his site, CoverTate.com. This is a direct quote from him. You can find it because I know they always pick people up on context. This is a TripAdvice podcast from January 21st, 2020. He says the PhD course, which stands for Pimp and Hose degree, this is the quote, it teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me, to work on webcam for me, because that's what I did. That was my MO, was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's how I got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them, because that's a completely different game as well. Now, that's from 2020.
That's not an incriminating statement. There's nothing illegal about making a statement like that. So I don't know why people be trying to dig up stuff in the past when obviously he wasn't as known and he wasn't as famous. He might have said things that you can say to a smaller audience. You can't say to millions of people. You can say something, to 10 people that you might not be able to say, to 100 million people, bro. That shit's obvious, bro. And you know what the crazy thing is? Out of all those charges, the most believable charge that he probably would have got is money laundering, bro. He already got that much money, bro. That's just where I'm at with it, man. Like, he was making them statements, so what? Like, he would have been arrested back then if it was illegal, right?
The timeline he's cancelled the webcam business 5 years ago, 10 years ago. He always shifts it. But that's from 2020 where he's still saying that 3 women are working for him.
You said 3 or 30?
3 at that point in 2020.
Got you. So is it your contention that he got rich off this webcam scheme, that was the nature of how he came to such fame and fortune?
He's open about that. He said he was even making up to $400,000 a month at the height of it, where I believe he said he had 75 women working for him in multiple locations.
And in the video you put together, and I saw, oh boy, right. What's going on here, and that's why we're having a conversation. Are the highlights you're putting, are they in context? Are they, because you can take anything that someone says, he would argue, hey, I was being sarcastic when I said this. They don't get the joke. You got to hear the full deal. Blah blah blah. You're comfortable that what you presented is an accurate portrayal of Andrew Tate?
I am. And this is how you know I'm genuine. I encourage everyone to do their own research. So look up Andrew Tate PhD course. It's all out there. He did this course on it. You know, I think that's the thing. He built his empire off this, and I truly think that now he's trying to rehabilitate his image by doing these kind of legitimate interviews with legitimate people like Tucker, who have massive platforms. But he's built an empire on smut and pimping and exploiting girls, and I mean, from the charges, it's, you know, horrible things. And I think his past is finally coming up to him, and I think it's a house of cards that might actually bring him down. You know, he talks about, this is another direct quote from him, he said, and he said, this is a quote that's in the court document. So this is actually going to be he continually says, even with the video, he did a response to my video, where he says everything in that is before 2021, before the official charges. Again, he's lying about that. The actual court case goes back to 2016, so it includes his webcam business from back in 2016, and it has direct quotes from him in the past. So even footage that I'm using within some of these interviews, they'll use that in the court because he's open about it. He's actually incriminated himself. So there's a quote where he says, "My main girlfriend's got maybe 20% of the money. I kept 80% of the money they made. So they were mostly working for free, working for my love and attention." I mean, he's a pimp and he's upfront about it. You know, he calls pimp a positively inspirational, motivating person. He doesn't see anything wrong with himself being called a pimp.
Do you think, what has been the delay? Because again, they haven't officially charged him. They held him, and he's claiming they're looking for evidence against him, and that's why they haven't brought official charges as of yet. Any of that true in your mind?
It's a lie. He's been indicted. You can find the charges. You can look them up. You can contact the Bucharest court, and it's under the Freedom of Information Act. You can ask for the indictment, and they'll provide you. It'll be a Romanian, so you'll have to figure out how to translate it. But a group of people have done an incredible work obtaining these court documents, including the indictments, and translating it through using Google Translate, AI, and Romanian people. And it's there. You can see his the contact messages. The indictments there. I think this is the thing, right? Why would you take any court case? Why would you take anyone's word entirely one-sided from the person that's on trial? I think because it's in Romania so far away, and because it's to do with sex crimes, there's a whole lot they have to redact. He has 7 victims. Okay, he continually says that they can't find anyone from my past that's willing to speak out against him. That's not true. There are 7 victims. There's people who whether they won't literally take the stand, they'll probably have to do it by video or by something else. But there are people who are accusing him of doing these horrible things. Don't take Andrew Tate's word on what the crimes and the case against Andrew Tate are. I encourage you to dig, to look. These documents are available. You can find them yourselves.
I actually think it's the opposite. I think we shouldn't take the mainstream government, word for it, because they're the ones with a history of corruption. But at the same time, with that being said, I don't think anybody's taking, Tate's word for it. I think people are just taking, a look at it realistically and looking at what's happened historically with men, famous men, regular dudes, everybody out here, and, the history of false accusations and, what can really go down, because, the justice system favors women, as far as these sort of accusations are concerned. You know what I'm saying? Domestic violence, accusations of things like the R word. And I'm not saying that this doesn't happen. Obviously it does, but we also have to acknowledge cases where dudes be getting screwed by the system. So, I think this is just a case where people are remaining neutral, or, they're, unsure how to feel about it. Kind of like me. I think that's where I'm at with it. I'm not sure how to feel about it. So, with that, we just gonna leave it at that, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, bro, because these are heinous crimes if we got to keep it real, and Gotta look at things realistically. You know, we can't be saying like sports or nothing. You know, we can't be tied to personalities or people for who they are. You know, we gotta be tied to the truth, you know, and pursue the truth. So, you know, fuck the government. You know, I don't like the government, but you know what I'm saying? We just gotta look at things realistically. So with that being said, that's the end of that segment. So we gonna cut it right there. Appreciate you if you tuned in. We gonna be uploading more and more every day. Appreciate y'all one more time. Peace.